Our premise of this channel is going to be community and our willingness to share our experiences with you guys. I'm David Benjamin. My farm's called Sade Farms. Our farm is called Sade Farms. We're a hay and forage farm based in Foothills County, southwestern Alberta, Canada. Our farm caters to the forage industry. So feeding livestock, which feed society, is an area of farming that I find pretty interesting. So we spend quite a bit of time and effort in that industry. We are a first generation farm. We didn't have the luxury of having a farm handed down to us. We have had to start this on our own. And when I say we, my wife and my family and my friends. I say we as a very strong word because, you know, I wouldn't be anywhere close to where we are with this farm if it wasn't for all of our connections, family and friends. You know, if I didn't have the support of my wife, if I didn't have the support of my family, my friends, my neighbors, you know, everybody in our lives, you know, we wouldn't even be here. When those same people are saying, start a YouTube channel, well, in some ways I owe it to them, if that's what they want to see, if they want to see this story that we have documented. So here we are, we're doing it. Farming skipped a generation in our family. All of this wasn't inherited. We had to fight for it, we had to buy it, we had to get there. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with traditional family farms that have succession planning. I am amazed and in some ways jealous of generational farms. Everyone has their own story, and that wasn't in the cards for us. Farming skipped a generation because my grandparents thought that our kids should get some educations and move west, and so that's exactly what they did. My parents, you know, were fortunate enough to be moved to Calgary and had the opportunities at educations and other types of jobs outside the family farm. Coming out of high school, my first job was on a farm. They farmed wool, actually off of alpacas. That was one of the first agriculture-specific jobs, and it's incredibly interesting how history repeats itself. That was one of my times in life where agriculture was presented to me. Yes, we were just stacking small square hay bales, but that was a really cool job. And you know, as much as, you know, it's hard work, it's fun work. You know, as a teenager, stacking hay, thinking, holy cow, I can get a workout while I'm getting paid, and they feed me a good supper and lunch. And I was just in my glory in my teens doing this job in the summertime. Quarter of a century later, I'm meeting new people because of that exact same situation that happened to me in my teenage years. In my younger years, in my 20s especially, I started chasing money, and I got away from what I thought was a really interesting job. Working on a farm. By the time I was 30, I had actually lost a job that came to complete shock of mine, because I'm the type of guy, I throw myself at everything I do, and I want to do a good job. I want to have pride in my work. And when I lost this job, I came home and it really took the wind out of my sails for a couple weeks. You know, working on a resume, you know, chatting with my wife, trying to figure out what it is I want to do. When someone truly asks you what you want to do with your life, it comes off as a small question, but it's actually probably one of the biggest. She asked me, she says, well, what do you want to do? And I think back to when I was a kid. I wanted to be a fireman or a farmer. It was a real big epiphany where I just had to be involved in agriculture. I said, okay, well, what are my skills? What are my interests? Well, I had interest in the hay and forage side of the business, and that's exactly where we are now. We are at a scale that I'm very thankful for, but you know what? If 10 years ago, if you would have told me this is where I'd be right now, I never thought I'd be here. On this YouTube channel, I'd really like to show you guys, if you're interested in watching it, is the trials and the tribulations of the farming. You know, the big equipment, the fun modern technology, that's all cool. There's lots of that. It's gonna be here just by default in this channel, showing some of the hurdles and some of the daily life of what farming is. There's a lot of a story to tell.
We'd really like to utilize YouTube for everything that it's given to us. There were certain pieces of equipment where we had to learn specifications and operational tasks from everywhere, from the YouTube platform to operators manuals to advice from friends and family and other people we know in agriculture. We have learned a lot from all these platforms and outlets, and if we can pay any of this forward, we'd love to do it.
We want your guys' feedback more than anything. If you guys like specific types of videos, or if you have questions about things, please leave us comments. We want to learn from you. We're doing this for you. If we can expose people to where their food comes from and really what agriculture is, that's going to really tug at my heartstrings personally, because there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of bad things that you hear about in agriculture, and for the most part they're exaggerated. A farmer cares more about their livestock, their soils, and the environment as much or more than the next guy. On our farm here, what you're going to see is some other pretty interesting, pretty modern equipment, some a little older. Heck, this truck is a 1994, and it's one of my favorite pieces of equipment we own. A core value of the farm is we are going to have progressive roots and intent. So we realize, as putting up hay as an example, hay is a simple concept. However, there are several ways it can be done.
In order to afford to farm with this efficient equipment the way we want to farm, we also have to do a lot of custom work. We do a lot of custom seeding, a lot of custom hay, and a lot of custom fertilizer spreading.
As a small farm, we put up a lot of acres. We don't have 10 employees. We need equipment that's fast, productive, and efficient. We take all of the above into consideration when we buy and run our equipment. So you're going to see some equipment here that's pretty unorthodox to the industry, at least, especially in this area. As an example, some of our haying equipment is some of the only equipment of its type in this area. We have very, very close people working with us.
We value and are so thankful for all the relationships that farming and agriculture has given to us, from the YouTube audience to our landlords to new people we've met along the way. We're so grateful to everyone in our lives.
If I were to break it down and think of our history, living at this property, the amount of people that are in our lives because of agriculture and have supported us in getting this farm started, from our parents, from our friends, from our neighbors, and from perfect strangers. You guys all know who you are. I hope you're watching this video. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be in front of these cameras. We wouldn't be in front of this equipment if we didn't have everybody's support. So be a YouTuber, they said. Farming ain't easy. Here we go.